Hello everyone, in this episode of Motive Garage we continue development on our Mark V Toyota Supra. Or is that BMW? Now in our last episode you would have seen we had some incredible gains from our Toyota Supra on the dyno, going from 310 to a little over 400 horsepower at the hubs when Con from CID tuned the car using ECUTEK race ROM software. Now a gain of over 90 horsepower is rather incredible for a car that is completely stock mechanically. And what's even more amazing is that's Con's very first Supra and very first tune using the ECUTEK race ROM. That's pretty good gain. So we decided to test the car at the drags, how it was on a standard road tyre, basically how you drive it around. Now the problem was on Sydney Dragway's opening night, the track was, well, it wasn't exactly prepped, and they actually ended up scraping the track back and resurfacing again after that opening night. So we had our work cut out for us to try and get a decent time, as there was simply no grip in the track. The other problem we had was, well, it was 35 degrees, and heat soaking these things can be, well, pretty damaging to performance. But we gave it our best shot. Let's see how we went.
That's actually pretty good. 17.2 is not too.
So on my time slip, there's no 60 foot, there's no mile per hour, and I got a 12.7 apparently. Probably sounds about right, because that was a big lift due to a lot of wheel spin. So, but what do? We'll give it another crack. All right, so the final run was the cleanest and best of the night. Got the 60 down to a 2.0. I doesn't turn up my 330 or 80s, unfortunately, but the ET was 12.2 at 115.6. Probably a little bit down on mile an hour compared to what I probably thought, but I was a bit lazy at the start of the track. So overall, cleaner pass. And for tonight, I'd say I'm happy with that for tonight. So it's definitely quicker than a stock Supra, but man, I had to work for it. Now the extra power and torque the Supra makes now is actually pretty hard to use on the factory road tyre. So we decided the most logical thing is we needed more power. The next step was to install a GRP Catless downpipe from Golby's Parts. The catalytic converter is built into the factory dump pipe, so this is where most of the gains are to be made in the exhaust rather than in the rest of the system, which we decided to leave due to being bimodal. The guys at Golby's Parts also sent us an FTP Motorsport intake and charge pipe kit. This might not affect power too much at the level we're at, but will help further down the track. You can see that they are larger, better, and smoother flowing overall compared to the factory items. They also have ports for boost, nitrous, or water meth. They're pretty straightforward to fit, and we'll admit, they look better than the factory items when all installed into the engine bay. Another part we wanted to fit was an oil-air separator. With extra boost comes more blow-by, and we wanted to stop oil from going through the turbo and intercooler pipes. As per our tech video about catch cans, it can degrade performance, and it's already proven to be needed on Supras that have a boost increase. We chose the Veris Engineering oil-air separator. It requires the removal of the factory resonator and heat shield to fit correctly, so we also ordered a resonator delete, which will help give better induction noise, and we also purchased one of their turbo heat shields, which will help with engine bay heat, as the factory heat shield doesn't actually sit over the exhaust manifold and stop heat soak into the engine bay. There is instructions on their website how to fit them, and it's all pretty straightforward, and they have great fitment. They actually bolt on. All up, it looks great in the engine bay and gives better induction noise, better heat management, and stops oil from getting into the inlet tract, which is a known problem on tuned Supras. Now with the downpipe and the other parts on the car, it was time to get the car tuned. And this is where things got a little bit, well, interesting is probably not the word, probably more frustrating. Now this Supra is Con's very first time tuning a Supra and probably even tuning a Euro car using ECUTEK Race ROM software. And we will say this, it's probably the most complicated car I've ever looked at inside the tuning software and that Con has ever had to tune as well. There is just table upon table upon table upon table. Even just boost control has so many different tables, and you change one thing and something else changes. They really are probably the most complicated factory software to ever try and tune. When we spoke to some tuning specialists in America with the Supra, they basically said this is the reason why they went and bought the car, locked themselves in the dyno room for months on end just so they could learn every single part of every single table and map with this car, because there really is a lot there. Basically they said don't stress, it takes time. So Con's been spending a couple of hours on the car every other day for 10 weeks, which is why you haven't seen the car for a little while, just to learn the software and get on top of it. Now we decided to leave with a little bit of extra power, 422 horsepower in total, so we're about 110 horsepower over factory now, which is more than what we made with just a tune on its own. So Con's doing some more research on the tune with the car, but in the meantime we've actually teamed up with Titan Motorsport, who are going to give us a little bit of a helping hand with not just the tune, but also some parts they've got for the car and some future development parts for the Supra as well. So we're pretty excited about what's going to happen in the future. So with the car back in my hands, the very first stop was to take it to Roll Racing Sydney. We've only got 3 GoPros in case we win. If we lose... I've got 5. Oh, he's got 5 GoPros. If we lose, we're deleting it.
Uh-oh, the windows are up, it's serious.
Oh, this is a serious race.
Look at that. What a song. Here we go. Oh! That chop chop! Chop chop!
And hazards go on! With extra power and especially the extra torque, the factory street tyres simply won't suffice at the track, so we got some drag radials. Tuner's Edge got us some monstrous 305/35 R19 Mickey Thompson ET Street SS drag radials. We chose these as you can still drive them around on the street. We're still surprised they fit under the factory guards. With the tyres fitted up, we hit the track to see how well they worked. Very much. Yes! Yes! Got there. There we go. 11.449 at 119. 165 in the 60. Wow, that's
big mile.
that's pretty good. This is just proof of what modern cars can do now with such little work. Well, so far I'm extremely happy with the Supra. I've done a complete turnaround from when they first came out. I really didn't like them, and now it's the opposite. I absolutely love the new Supra. To be honest, I think it's one of the most underrated performance cars on the market right now. It's exceptional value for money, and it is just an epic car. The fact that it goes 11.4s that easily with such minimal mods is incredible. The downpipe gives it the right amount of bark out the exhaust it needs. Not overly loud, but a great exhaust note. The crackle and the pops that some people love, some people hate, they're nice and loud now, but you can still click a button, go back into normal mode, and you get your luxury sports car again. That is, well, a very comfortable car to drive around in. Where do we go from here with the car? Well, we could go E85, but that's quite a fair bit of work with port injection adapter and an extra computer to control it, etc. We're looking at going a Titan Motorsport water meth kit next and trying to go into the 10s, still on pump fuel and still on the standard turbo. And after that, hey, who knows? We know how that rabbit hole goes.